Huh?
Ooh, here's one. Why don't you start thinking like the dude that you worried about her cheating with? Because I bet you he would do that.
Oh,
Because we know the dude with the dude that's smashing married women.
he doing it. He doing it.
What's happening, everybody? It is Dev of the Iron Father here with the roundtable today as we get into a discussion really about men having confidence, being able to connect, and their sexual health after 50. Now, I know this is going to be one of those conversations we're going to have to really do a PG job of out here displaying and talking about. Probably in the future, we're going to end up having a Patreon set up so we can really get into some good stuff behind the paywall because, you know, we definitely want to keep it clean and sensitive. That being said, we're going to keep it real. That's why we're doing the show. So definitely dig in, enjoy yourself, and we want you to chime in with any questions that you have. I'm going to be throwing questions out there as we continue on. We wanted to do this one live, but we're not going to do it. But that means even on the replay, feel free to put some questions down that you may have. We will be checking out the comment section for any questions, and we may just go ahead and address them on future roundtable shows. So before we jump into it, we'll start in the order of everybody who showed up. Derek, you were in the house first. Go ahead and do your greeting for the day, brother.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Derek. How's it going? I'm here to just chop it up. Real talk all the time. All right, I'm here.
Eddie Vance.
Eddie Vance in the house once again. Just want to say what's up and thank everybody.
Good, good. All right, fellas. Y'all know the usual protocol. I kind of gave you a little bit of heads up on this one for just so everybody knows, we're going to not talk about the thing, we'll say those websites. I'm just going to try to remember and refer to those websites if we talk about those things. Let's just call it the magic genie because the genie, when you go to those websites, anything you can think about, it'll grant you whatever wish. So when we talk about those websites, some of them are even being made illegal. I think in Arizona right now, where Arizona just made it
Oh,
illegal, as well as some other states. That's what we're kind of talking about because it's going to come in here. So the reason why I wanted to do this show, I have a client, and something that came up was the fact, no pun intended, something that came up was the fact that really how a guy doesn't really know things until often is way down the line in marriage. And so I think this topic we're going to talk about for the marriage guys and the unmarried guys. Again, we're talking to men over 50, but I think a lot of you younger guys may want to pay attention about this as well. And I'm even going to say, ladies, if you're listening to this, you might want to take notes because we're going to talk about things your husband or your boyfriend probably doesn't want to talk about with you. He's probably scared to talk about with you because he knows how he's going to look. And he may not know as much as you may think that he knows about himself and about you. So let's just go ahead and kind of just level set. Gentlemen, if we start looking at guys over 50, and I was the longest one that was in a marriage, I think, of the three of us. So I may talk about that aspect of it a little bit longer than y'all. But in terms of confidence, this gentleman made a good point to me and said, men don't talk about what's going on in the bedroom. And I think especially black men, because every black dude act like he confident. Just like
yeah.
every dude act like he can bench press 315, every dude act like he can lift 500 pounds. But gentlemen, I'm sure we've probably had enough conversation with ladies to know, and every dude putting it down like he think he putting it down when you talk to his woman. So in terms of confidence, just in general, let's just start out at kind of a macro level. We'll start with you on this one, Eddie. And as you've gotten older in your 50s, did you feel really prepared, we'll say sexually, for how the game would be, whether in marriage or whether in dating? Maybe you want to touch on things that your father told or didn't tell you or did tell you that's like, nah, that ain't true. And I had to find out because women expected me to know fill in the blank, but I didn't know and nobody taught me. What kind of things might that bring up for you?
Well, my dad is he's one of those 70s babies. So he grew up in the 70s during that time and he had us he had magazines laying around and we were exposed to
Mm,
a lot of stuff. We were exposed to and by our family being a male dominated family, those were a lot of our conversations. So back before, uh, back then when Virgin, when Virginized, and you hear them describing and telling, and it was like, oh man, I can't wait to do that. And
Mm.
then when you finally do it, you discover, hey, you said it was going to be like this, but it was totally different. So I hate to say this, but it takes practice.
Mm. Derek, how about you?
Oh, mine was trial and error, man. I was scared of women for a long time. I didn't have nobody teaching me. I mean, my pops was around, but he ain't talk about the birds and the bees. Only thing we have birds and the bees was in school. That was it.
Mm.
I mean, if real talk, my mom had more sex sex talk with me than my dad did. And again, my dad was around until I was 18 in the house, married, and all that stuff, but he was never there. Didn't have those kind of conversations. I started off young. I'm gonna say that for some other reasons and things of that sort. But yeah, getting into the game of it, man, it was later years when
Yeah,
trial and error for
that
sure.
experience. Yeah, that
Yeah,
experience. That you got to keep going. You got to keep going.
yeah.
Man, I'm kind of in the same boat. I guess I'll say more like Derek. Definitely my dad comes from that era, but it was more like, especially in a religious household, you don't talk about it because then they might want to do it. And so you didn't talk about it. Now, on one end, my old dude got mad skills. Mad skills, son. I mean, he is the type of dude that can go up in some place, can meet a woman, can talk to her. And as he said, hey, that's why the songs were so long when we were young, because when you whispering in the girls here on the dance floor, you had 10 minutes to go ahead and talk her on, out to the car and doing your thing. And so, he grew up with that mindset, but he didn't teach any of that to me. The biggest
Right.
talk we probably had was, you don't want to have sex because if you do, your wedding night won't mean anything. Oh, well, that was that was the
yo,
extent of
yo,
really the
yo, yo,
advice.
what? What was that last piece?
Your wedding night won't mean anything.
Oh, gotcha.
And so, I mean, that we're going to probably touch on that also during the show. But I'm sure most dudes probably realize that it didn't have much to do with their wedding night. And no one ever asked the girl what did her wedding night mean to her, because she probably had a higher body count than the groom did. So, it's like, you know, I learned, especially with a church background, that it was really nothing but shame goes along with sex. That's like the default position. So I'll speak for the married and the religious guys. When you come from that default position, I want to go parlay into what y'all said about experience. It's amazing that women think they want a man with experience. They just don't want to know how he got it.
Oh, for sure. But but
Oh
but
yeah.
hey, but guess what? Men want the same thing.
Ooh, tell me more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Men want to I'm gonna tell you, I never ever in my life, I can't recall ever wanting a virgin.
Mm,
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. Girl, them teeth hurt. Well, whatever, right?
Yeah.
No, nope. I ain't got time to be teaching. Need somebody that got a little something going on their own, but like you said, don't really want to know how you got it, but I'm glad you do.
what about you, Eddie?
I never ask any questions I don't want the answer to.
Ooh,
Oh, amen.
Hey, so
ooh,
long as you get down and we having a good time at that point in time, that's all that matters to me. And
Yeah.
we're going to keep on having it as long as possible, as long as you got that act right in you. As long as you, as you always say, Derek, that sandwich.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
good.
Yeah.
Let me throw out the
Yeah.
disclaimers then. That's a good start. Definitely anything we say, especially when we talk about maybe some performance enhancers, things like that. This is not medical advice. Consult with your physician. And also we just trying to be candid. Again, we just putting it out there, especially for you guys that are older and you can't have this conversation. So, all right, let's go here then with that kind of as our baseline. I think now, guys over 50, we're going to look at it for two camps. Let's start first with the guys that are just beginning to get out here and date. Performance anxiety. A
Yes.
guy is, for the first time, I'll even say, for those who may this is their bend, they may say, I am married again. And I am now with another woman, and I haven't been with another woman in, say, 30 years. Maybe the guy is like, well, I ain't married, but I'm out here again. And I'm about to be with another woman, and I haven't been with a woman in 10, 20, 30 years. And now he's worried about his performance anxiety. What would you guys maybe advise that guy to do, or what would you say you kind of understand about that can help them?
Well, it's gonna sound bad when I say it. I know it's gonna sound bad, but
Oh yeah, I
uh,
know it. If Eddie started off
yeah,
like that, you know it's
yeah,
gonna be bad.
it's about to be. Get you a practice chick first. Get you one of them fuglies and the ugly, and you get you a practice chick, and you build your confidence up. You blow that back out on the confidence builder. Oh, you gonna go into the world totally different. But if you just starting off, you gotta have one of those. You just can't go out there and dib and dab. You gotta have one of those confidence builders. It sounds bad, but hey, that's what I suggest.
Yeah, and I mean he's got some truth to that. We talked about that before
Mm-hmm.
when you just starting out there. You got your. We talked about having the standards. On my standards up here, well, you better work down here and figure out. You may got to do a couple of dips and build it up to get to there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's got a good point with that one. But if you down for the cause and you see one chick, two chicks, three, whatever, you see somebody you seriously interested in, what I say is it's a mental thing first.
Mm.
Connect with her mentally, be able to have that ability to have a true conversation with her and see where things are. Because you can play that little, I hate to say, we talked before about being that 15-year-old kid where you just on the couch playing around, doing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Get a feel for it. No pun intended,
Yeah.
but fill her out, not fill her up, but fill her out and see what's what and have those kind of conversations. Because for me, foreplay is number one.
Yes.
That's what's gonna make it, break it all the way through. You can, if you can't perform, you can still talk the talk, do what you got to do, and we talk about learning some skills. Don't be that one trick pony. Figure it out. But that practice, like Eddie said, that's gonna be crucial. It's gonna be crucial. And if you're just starting out from a relationship, you already know. Well, you should know. You need a rebound phase. That rebound phase is practice, practice, and more practice before you get ready to go up that echelon, that ladder of what you're really looking for.
Yes, sir.
Because you have to purge yourself of that that's that rebound of all that energy and that negativity and find yourself again.
I hate to let out a secret. So, for you guys out there that may just be getting back in the game, and, I don't want to hurt your image that girls are sugar and spice and everything nice. But I'm going to tell you that all odds are, and I don't care if you are marrying that good evangelical Christian woman that also got divorced at 50 years old, and you're now running into her at 51, 52 years old. I don't care if her ex-husband was the only guy she had ever been with until her divorce. When you probably run into her after a year she's been divorced, you better learn what exponentially means, because that's probably what happened with her body count. And I think all of us can attest to the fact that if you understood, your head would actually spin. And it's going to be a little dirty secret, and it happens. And so when they talk about the rebound phase, and as Eddie said, it might sound bad, understand that she's going through her rebound phase too. And because for her, in like he said, it may be, okay, you may have to go through that phase to build confidence. She went through that phase in order to gain confidence as well, because when she was with her ex-husband, she was out there probably not feeling very attractive. She was feeling like, well, he didn't want to pay attention to me, and he never gave me this, and he never gave me that. So the first time, especially if, let me really talk to you OGs out there, especially those of you who didn't date in the internet era, and let's say your ex-wife at that time, or your ex-wife, your wife at the time, she wasn't out there in the internet era, her mind is going to be blown. How when she makes that first dating thing, and for the first time, she literally may have, depending on how fine she might still be at 50 years old, she's going to have dudes 22 that's younger than her own son hitting her up, and she's going to have dudes 72 hitting her up. And she barely knew how to use Facebook, let alone now on the dating app. And I'm going to warn you, and I'm going to tell you, you better get your mind around the fact that if you think she ain't going to be getting with a dude younger than your son, man, you better wake up. You better wake up, because she will. She ain't going to want a relationship with that dude. And guess what? He doesn't either. But she's going to try the young ones. She's going to try some of the old ones, especially if they got a little money and some fame and, you know, a little power. And then she's going to go back on that dating app, depending on how long she's on there. And then she's going to say, I am looking for a man. There's probably going to be about 5 years of her age. She's 50, from 45 to 55. And that's probably going to be around. So those guys are nailing it. So take away some of your guilt of what you're going to do. Because again, I know shame is a big part of this. So anything you guys want to add on that before we move to the next one?
Oh, I take that personal because, like you said, that 5 years between there, by me being over 50, but I'm 5 years on the older side, 5 years on the younger side, and that's the way they decide. And a lot of them, one thing they just want you to do is not make them feel like they are. Should I say that?
Well, yeah, you go.
So, as long as you don't make them feel like that,
304.
There you go.
The 304. As long as you don't make them feel like a 304, and you guys are communicating and you can have a great time together because it's mutual. And like Derek said before, it gotta be communication, because when you talking to these people, these women and stuff like that, you gotta have communication. You gotta know your freaking limitations. You just can't jump right off into it. You know, you gotta know the little limitations going on.
Yeah, don't be so willing to put your money out there for sure. Don't pay for nothing. Don't be trying to wind or dine somebody.
Yes.
I mean, you might as well go on the corner for something like that. That ain't worth it.
Yeah, call a professional. Call a professional, because if you just want to spend money on having a good time, call somebody that's going to be in and be out. You don't pay them to stay, you pay them to leave.
Right. and you don't have to worry about your confidence nearly as much as well, to be honest with you.
Exactly, because I'm paying for this. I can do what I want to do.
You can do what you want to do.
Right.
And so that's why I wanted to tie that into the confidence element of it, because it does go back to, wow, you don't necessarily feel confident, and you may even feel intimidated because, you know, Derek, I remember one time we were talking, it's like, man, I think you made a point one time, it's like, man, you realize how long some of these ladies have been on dating apps. If you guys do the math, hey, don't do the math if you got a queasy stomach. That's all I'm going to say. And that will mess with your confidence, especially if you don't have it, especially when they start maybe telling stories or whatever. Now, there are some pro tips. This might have to go behind the paywall. There are some pro tips that you can take in order to deal with that, because it's not so much on where she been. The question is, what is she going to do with you and for you right now? But that's for a topic for another discussion, because that will certainly help your confidence. So let's move to the other one. In terms of novelty, a lot of guys, I think, you know, we mentioned earlier, Eddie, you mentioned that magazine exposure. One reason they have a lack of confidence is because when they were married, they probably were sneaking around with some things they wanted to do. They might have had a bucket list this long, but because they were going to the Magic Genie and looking at you know, the old photos that they found in their dad's closet, they always still kept that and hiding and shaming. How can they change some of that shaming that they might have had in their marriage now that they're back out here in the dating game, starting over with a new woman?
Well, hey, the thing is I'm a firm believer in being honest with yourself, and then being honest with the other person you're trying to be with. If you Mr. Freaky Deek, and you want to try some things, you'd be surprised. Them women want to do it too. But you got to be able to do it the right way. You don't come in there and look, girl, I'm thinking about going ahead and chain you up to this car end and do this. No. You ease into it and talk about desires, fantasies, and you build on it slowly, because you rushing, and then somebody's gonna look at you like, man, what? You can be the biggest freak in the world, but it's how you present yourself to somebody that it becomes acceptable. And if you start off being that creepo, nobody going to deal with you. But if you start off being suave and talking about it and says, well, you know, and always put the woman first. Yes. You have any desires and, you know, some things you wanted to try out. And here's back to what Dev said. Get your ego out of it. Have you done something that you want to try again? You know, because you ain't going to be at 50 plus. Don't think you're going to be the first. Now, I am going to be, because that's just who I am. But, you know, whatever. No, I'm just kidding. But don't think you're going to be the first at doing something. Just get your ego out. Oh, yeah, well, I had this and did that. But I only did it that one time, and they only baby. Listen to the stories, because what's the old saying? If you stay quiet, they'll tell you about themselves.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just listen.
Yes.
Just listen.
So yeah, I want to touch back on what you said from the beginning, Derek. You said you have to be comfortable in yourself and know what you're into. So that way you'll be able to present it to somebody else, and either they willing to accept it or they're not. But like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, their curiosity, or like you said before, they've already experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, let's try this again. But now we're going to do it the way I see that we should go ahead about it.
Mm-hmm.
Disclaimer: this ain't date 1. This ain't date 2.
Yep.
You better ease into this. You don't drop these kind of bombs first off.
Yeah.
If you happen to have sex on your first date, you ain't chaining her up and doing that freaky deep. You gotta blow the dust off and see where you land, and then you go from there. You know, that's a happen chance on that first date. Don't expect it. You know.
Hey, you got to shoot those test questions out. You got to shoot out those test questions. Hey, how does that? Do you like that? Is this it? Is what? Wait, how? What? And it depends on how they agree with. And usually they're going to agree, and they're going to take it to the level that you never thought it would be.
Ooh.
So, hey, a lot of times, I don't know about Hammerman over there, Derek, but
whatever.
I don't mind being taught. Lead me sometimes. I like to be led.
Hey, Eddie Vance, look, he letting us know he got some switch in him. That's what that is. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Hey, again, as long as you know where your grounds are, you good to go.
Yeah,
if somebody got that immediate, and here's the other thing. And guess what? If they not into it, that don't mean you still can't be into them. We did talk about getting some experience in, right? Sometimes you need to. And here's the other thing. Okay, let's check this out. 50 Shades of Grey came out when? Was it about almost 15 years ago, 14?
Yeah, the book.
15? Yeah, something like that. When that came out, all the women was talking about, oh yeah, I want this and I want that. They all wanted to some level. Now I ain't talking about having your red room like Brother Man did and started beating somebody with some floggers. That's at least a year down the road. But
that's advanced stuff right there.
That's advanced stuff. But the thing is that most women want a man to take charge. So take charge, but know how to do it with that woman. Man. It's not going to be applicable to all. You have to learn that woman, use whatever you want for that woman if that's what you want to do. Again, switch it up. It's not going to be a matter of this always works. No, it doesn't.
Yes.
Because every woman is different.
Yes.
You can be the same, but you got to present. It's all in the presentation.
Yes. Man, I'm so glad that you touched on that because I think that is probably the key tenet to what we're saying. I know that's not everybody's thing, so I'll lay that down as a foundation, especially for me and Derek. It's going to be more along that line of leading and taking charge. I had a guy that I'm working with now. That is the main thing, and it's been pivotal in changing his sex life with his wife, leading and taking charge. So for you married guys, don't think that when we're talking about having the confidence, you lose confidence too. Derek, you said it in one of our, I forgot, like 2 or 3 shows back about sometimes the rejection that you worried about you going to experience out here in the dating market, you have experienced that as a married man as well. That woman likely rejected you, especially if she divorced you.
Oh, yeah.
You may be in a marriage where you're already accustomed to the rejection. So you haven't necessarily lost confidence maybe in your performance, but you probably just lost confidence in your ability to maybe even satisfy your wife. And it probably starts because you don't lead the interaction. So now, you looking at her like, you gonna start something tonight? And she's like, well, you the man, you're supposed to start something. But actually, she's not gonna say that. That's what she's thinking. Instead, she just says, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. And we ain't gonna talk about we will talk about it. Actually, I got it in my notes. The post-menopause or the menopausal or perimenopausal women that will then use that as a reason to be like, I'm having hot flashes. I'm dry. I don't feel like it. And so instead she's saying, yes.
You said it first. You said it first.
That's it. And so, you got to make it work. And so that confidence, she's not saying to you, your woman is not going to verbalize, you are the man, you lead me there, especially if you've been married for a couple of decades.
Yep.
She expects you to do it. And when you don't, and when she starts turning off that dial down, you end up losing your confidence on that one. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some data here in a moment. So while I dig that out, let me throw this question out. Eddie Vance, I'm going to start with you. For the guy who's dating, how much should novelty, and we touched on it a little bit, how much
Mhm.
should novelty and him being rusty, how much does that play in performance anxiety? Should he go ahead and take some pills? Should he really stretch his comfort zone? We touched on it a bit, but while I dig this out, just tell me what you think.
Hey, there's things out there to enhance everything. To enhance your moods, to enhance. There's things that you can do, and I'm not against them. I'm sorry if there's a. I'm not gonna say a prescription per se, but if there's a formula that can make me better, then why not? Especially when you're going through a mental block. Sometimes you need something to push you over to get you over that mental block. Sometimes you got to go ahead and just jump. And sometimes those honey packs help.
Mm.
All right, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate on both sides here.
Okay.
So the only problem about using enhancements is now you're enhanced. What happens when you're not?
Ooh.
All right, so there's that issue. Second thing is that for me, enhancements get those for the women that deserve to be enhanced, not day one, not the first one that I'm trying to get some experience. If I am at a point of at a deficit to Dev's point of being not sure, well, guess what? There's a mental block. There's a physical block. The enhancers are for physical block. They don't always now. They talk about these new ones now. They come out with that they help your mental capacity to really want to be into it, as opposed to just I'm clearing up that blood vessel and I'm ready to get it. No, for me, it's a mental thing first. Everything else comes second. So once you get that mental block without anything first, learn yourself is what I'm getting at, right? Learn what you're capable of doing, knowing where your deficit. If you're having some ED situations, okay, that's a medical thing. You can go out to honey pack. I mean, heck, you pull up Facebook, they got 4 of them sitting right there for you. You know, all these ads, right? They got Row, Show, Joe, Blow, Glee, Blue, Blah, Green, Blue, whatever rainbow color you want, purple, whatever. Use whatever you, all kinds of enhancements, but they don't enhance who you are. This ain't no, what is it, those superhero shows. You pop this pill and you get Superman. No, your mental capacity will always be yours. You have to know yourself. Your confidence is there. A woman wants you to take charge. And most of the time, if you do it right, they want you to manhandle them to some degree. To some degree. I ain't talking about smacking somebody up against the head and doing this, but they want that aggression.
Yes.
Now, then, to Eddie's point, I ain't mad at a woman that knows how to take initiative, but don't do it on day one because I might get scared. I'm like, whoa,
right.
You know, scare me. Go ahead and scare me.
Right.
I'm ready. Go ahead and scare me.
And then look, it's like, wait a minute, do I got the Adam's apple? Am I the man? Wait, what you doing? You know,
unless that's what you into, we ain't gonna shame anybody.
Right. Oh, for sure. But again, know yourself. And if that's what you into, go with it. But if you're not, be willing to talk about it. You know, talk about it. Because
that's the key, Derek. You know, I agree with you 100%. If there's a medical issue, but it all starts with the mental. It always starts with yourself. It always starts with the mental. And before you start going to get these advanced things, if you're not having any issues, you got to make sure you take care of yourself. That's why I stress the fact on the practice. You got to get your practice fugly. I'm sorry. That'll defeat all mental things because you got you a practice fugly, it's going to be great.
And man, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me touch on the mental side as well, because I think, my advice to guys is that first woman that you see, I think there is something, and this is definitely one for those who believe maybe on the religious side. There is a bonding that takes place between a man and a woman if they've been together, sleeping together for decades. So you may not be able to perform and have performance anxiety just because the novelty has gone off with your wife. However, you think that, if I got with somebody else, that new stimulus is going to be a great stimulus for your boy down below. Wonk, 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 wonk. So first of all, don't be talking junk about how you gonna blow a back out, because
Mhm.
every woman that, and I've had a woman say this, I don't even like to be with married men. She said, I don't like to be the first woman that a married man is cheating with, or I don't want to be the first woman that a guy who's divorced gets with, because I already know he likely won't be able to perform. Now he gonna talk all this junk. He gonna talk about what he wants to do because he's been living in this fantasy world. But when it's performance time, it's like, how am I having a power outage? And it's because it's up here. There's
Yep.
and women, for the one or two women that are listening to this is the power that you have. That even if you've gained weight, even if you don't look like you did when you were with your husband, in all likelihood, his stuff still goes ahead and rises for you because you know what to do. He knows what he can expect, and he has less performance anxiety with you. Now, granted, he might be bored of it. And again, that's a whole different conversation, but it all starts here. And those little performance pills, they do help. But again, I think it's like driving a car. Back when in the old days, I had my Mustang, my brother hooked up my nitrous system. I had the bottle behind me with a little warmer in there. The problem with the nitrous was at the track when I knew I was going to use it. I knew my car would run, Fox body Mustang. It ran a 1308. That was something back then for a stock motor and everything. But
For
if I'm
sure.
getting into a race with somebody at the light, I'm at the light. Imagine I'm trying to reach around the seat, turn the bottle on, flip the bottle warmer, and the bottle ain't gonna get warm that fast because your nitrous has to be up. Not my non-car people. Your nitrous has to be at a certain pressure to work
Yeah,
optimally.
because
Right there. So for car guys that know, that's why they always say it's better to have a turbocharger or supercharger because that power is always there. But with the nitrous bottle, it's almost like having the blue pills. You
Yeah.
kind of get hooked on that, and it's like, oh man, I didn't expect to have to perform. And now instead of reaching for your nitrous bottle, you reaching for the drawer, and she like, I'm ready to go now. And if your mental is always, I can't do it without that,
yep.
now
Mhm.
you out of
Yeah.
it. And the last thing I'll throw in, a lot of guys, married and otherwise, think they need a pill
Yeah.
because they're with their wife. They're a little bit older. Again, they ain't trying to necessarily knock out honey because she done put on 100 pounds or whatever. So he's just maybe
Mhm.
like, it just ain't that fun because I already know how it's going to go. But then if he goes and watches the Magic Screen Genie and he goes and watches that, bam. If
Right.
that happens, or if you wake up in the morning with you wake up in the morning with an erection, you don't have a physiological plumbing issue. You have a
Yes.
mental issue. When
Hmm.
you can't even rub one out and your boy is still like, man, I'm good. Now, for those brothers that don't want to get your diabetes checked out, you got high blood pressure problems. Oh, quick
Prostate
commercial.
issues.
Iron Father,
Yeah.
email me. That's why we start the program with getting in better physical shape. Let me help you get that better. Let's get those A1Cs down. Let's get that blood pressure down. Let's try to get
Hmm.
you off some of those meds. Again, this isn't medical advice, but let's try to get you off of some of those meds. And you are going to find your confidence is going to increase because you look better. Your confidence is going to increase because you feel better. And you know what? I think your girl, your wife in this case, I'm talking to you married guys, she's going to like it better. And that's going to keep you from being dependent on a bunch of pills. Now, guys, if I can really share my screen real fast, I was looking for, this isn't the study that I wanted. I couldn't find out when the website actually wouldn't load up. So let me share my screen really quickly. And what's funny to me is if we go, can you see the chart there?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, this one's sexual frequency per month by age group. Yeah, when we look here at men and women, so this is why I say a lot of you guys,
Wait.
do you have the stomach?
1.7. What the?
Do you have the stomach, as they say? Because you notice right here, when we look for men and women, men ain't getting it in at 18 to 24 like the women are. Men ain't
Hmm.
getting it in as much as 25 to 34 like the women
Wait a
are.
minute. This is per month?
When we get down to per month, yes. And this actually aligns with some of the other research I've looked at. That's why I kept with it. Per month. And look at how it falls off after 34. So we are talking about our 50 demographic. Now we're at 6.3. Men are doing a little bit more than women. I've actually seen some research that had this even lower in this 45 to 54 age group. And look at the plummet that happens once we get over 55 on down. Now
Wow.
so the old myth of a dirty old man, we might as well say that begins to kick in, but especially at 65 to 74, where he still wants to get it in. She's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm really good 75 and older. So ladies, if you want to know why that quote unquote dirty old man is sliding into your DMs and you 35, here's why. Because the woman that he is either married to or that is in his dating age, she might not have that much a desire, at least in terms of the frequency that this study ends up showing that they're getting. This may be one reason why, as an older dude, man, you and if for those of you in this group now, this is as good as it's getting. The women are still getting it. Now we can go into where are the women getting it from? Because shouldn't this be about even? Statistically, you think it would be, but it's not. So the ladies are still getting it more. So what do y'all say about this frequency? Because y'all are like, what? Go ahead and elaborate on that.
I mean, I can't speak for nobody else, but that, I mean, is it frequency as meaning it's actually happening, or it's the desire?
This is supposed to be frequency, actually doing it.
Yeah, I don't know where they're pulling their data from. I mean, how many people are in this survey? 5?
This one, well, this one goes to couples. Boy, look at the couple thing. At least couples is better for men up in, at least early on.
Wait. Go back down. Go back to the couples.
There you go.
All right, so we got a 5.8 between 45 and 54 for men. Go back up to the one right before this. I think that was close about the same, wasn't it? Oh, 5.8 for the women. Okay.
So this is where the married men brag and say, hey, I actually get more sex being married compared to being single. Well, then let's go to single. Well, single, the women still get it in pretty well.
Wait, go down. Jesus. Single.
Look at that. Look at where it falls with 55.
What was the first one? If this is singles, what was the very first category?
The very first one was all groups. And then it gets broken down to couples, then singles.
So this isn't married though, it's couples, and they're including married.
Couple, yes, I'm assuming they're including marriage. If we go back up on the methodology,
and this is heterosexual.
That's definitely my assumption.
Okay,
that's definitely my assumption.
Interesting.
Let me jump down here.
I don't believe it.
50 to 80.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around those numbers.
No, those stats don't look right to me.
I will tell y'all, based on some other stuff I've seen, though, it seems to be very consistent. The numbers are low. Is that right? The numbers are extremely low. Hence why I wanted to do this topic. The numbers are extremely low. And for the single guys, unmarried versus married couples, frequency by age group. All right, so we got married in the green. We got blue for unmarried. So married folks getting it in, which kind of makes some sense. But then it's interesting that in this age group, 35 to 44, all of a sudden the unmarried folks are getting it in more than the married folks, which I think goes in what we talked about, the novelty, etc., that oftentimes end up taking place in marriage. And it seems like some of that excitement leaves.
Let's put it in perspective. You're going to have probably more. If we look at the average or the mean marriage ages, it's going to hit that 25 to 35 within that 35 to 45. Once that's you start down, we get into that 45 to 54. We look at that second and potentially third marriages at that point. So you got a flip flopping, and they're not. So you're going to have some folks just going to be dipping and dapping. Yeah, the stats going to get all jacked up.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Overall, how often do married couples have sex? Married couples on average have it 5.9 times per month. So it's funny you can come out 1.4, but we know it was statistics. 1.4 times per week.
What was that? I put it in and took it out real quick.
Right, exactly. I tried and she said no.
Right. I'm partially pregnant.
Yes.
You either doing it or you ain't.
Yes.
Your hand don't matter.
Right. And there was another one that I definitely, I like this one because they kind of at least labeled the chart here a bit of how it drops. And again, I think this between 45 to 64, that is amazing. And I can actually understand a little bit because I've heard a lot of couples, older couples, still say, well, we're just happy being friends now. So, I won't go down that road, but go ahead, Derek. You were going to say something?
Did they define what sex is?
I'm going to assume we're talking about traditional intercourse. It just included all intercourse recordings of couples of all types.
Right. Of all types.
Of all types.
All types is all also solo.
I wouldn't necessarily say consider it so low. I guess it depends on how they defined it.
And it's
So
sex, and we talking about it does say intercourse, so they don't include oral as intercourse.
right.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think this. I will say again, as some of the other snapshots that I've looked at when I was looking for this, the one that I really wanted to find, I didn't have it queued up. But again, this is pretty interesting. And I will say, I think this was actually fairly old because when I found, okay, this was actually going to 2023. The other one I did find is that when we look at men in this age group from 18 to 35, they were definitely having it a lot less than prior generations. That's the other thing. So, just kind of a quick snapshot. I know for the sake of time, and I know Eddie Vance got to go, but I think this kind of leads us into the expectation versus reality. I want to start with something else on expectation versus reality. That's in frequency, because I'll say that a lot of you guys may think you're going to be getting it in all the time, and that may not necessarily be the case. That may not necessarily happen. But let me show this one. Let me pull this out here. Let me go here with it, because then I think, I think we need to talk about this, and that is expectations in terms of guys and their performance due to their size. Now, this is one of those again where every dude gonna be like, "Oh no, not me. I'm good with all of that." Well, really, because why won't this thing go ahead?
You talking about manhood size?
Yes, manhood size.
Okay.
So, I went and really was doing some research on this one. And I did this and pulled this chart together last night based on what I found. And so let me share my screen here. And because, again, dude's going to be out here again, and it's going to be like, hey, guess what? And actually, I'm going to try to find this Reddit post that I can read as well, where a woman was saying that her husband thought that he was the biggest, and he was
Can
like
you make it
talking
a little
junk.
larger?
Let's see. He was actually bragging, telling his wife, was like, look how big I am. I know I'm big. I know I'm big. And his wife was writing in Reddit and was like, actually, she said, she gave she said he was like in the 5 to 6 range, I think it was. And she actually said that was actually the smallest that she had ever been with. And of course, she didn't want to tell him. I know, that's what my face was like,
Surprise!
surprise. And so I think this is another thing we talk about confidence. And I put up there size queens, but I found it interesting because a lot of you guys are going to be reading some things perhaps on dating apps, especially depending on the kind that you're looking at. And you may find that a woman is saying, I expect, or I've had, and we talked about this on the show. The fact that when we look at how many men are 9 plus compared to how many ladies claim that they're looking for something that size, you probably got more of a better chance of running into a billionaire than you do of a dude that's clocking 9 plus. So this, I liked it because this is kind of a crunch of the data that's truly out there where they measured. I think when a dude brags or he taking a picture holding a remote next to his junk, or a fool got a water bottle or whatever, dude be talking trash like they some kind of star. But the reality is, I don't know if they doggone, measuring from the back of their crack or what, or if they pushing that fat pad in, or how they measure it. But when we get down to it and you look at the length, isn't it amazing that actually what most men got actually kind of goes along with where most women are at in their depth? Because again, a woman, she's going to expand, especially with excitement. That's why it's hard for them to truly measure this. But I want to throw this out there in terms of expectations. A lot of guys now, they wife might have been like, I'm good with what you got. I was happy with it. Or maybe all his marriage, he heard that she wasn't. Now he's out there again. And how does that impact his confidence? What say y'all about the chart?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what I got, so I ain't out there. Hey, what you got over there? What you got? Well, I got this. I can't talk about the chart. I mean, I don't know where they got these stats from. Nobody called me. I know that much.
That's why I still can't wrap my head around these numbers. I'm just saying, who are they surveying? What area in the country did they go to?
I specifically asked for the United States. I specifically only wanted to focus on the U.S.
So if we look at this chart, let's just, I'm a person that breaks stuff down. All right, so we got 55, 65, 63, 73%, all the way up to 75, 109. We look at all the least amount of percentage to the high amount of percentage. These stats, where do 100% go? In the middle?
Yes, it would have to go in the middle because, and that's the problem with measuring. Again, how all you can do is just take all of the studies and come up with the estimate, a range. And that's what I asked for, a range. Because one study is going to say one thing, and another study, because depending on how they measured, even when they ask women what they want, they can't even accurately determine that because a woman will say, I want this. But then when they show her a 3D mold of what that is, it's like, that's way too big. And then
Right.
they'll show her a 3D mold of something 5 inches. And she's like, oh, that's, yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's because this is what her and her girlfriends talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
I can handle this, girl.
Yeah.
Me too. Give me that
Yeah.
2-liter Coke bottle. I'm all good.
Yes.
Yeah. But where the standards of measurement from? That's what I don't get because I'm a numbers guy and I'm a stats guy, but I believe in procedures. That's why I can't wrap my mind around these numbers because I need something like, okay, this is the way you conduct this procedure. But that's going besides the point. That's just me being a numbers head.
And I think the thing is, the reason why I bring it up, there are going to be guys that are now entering the dating market, though. This conversation now comes up, and it didn't come up when they may have started dating early on in their life or maybe with their wife. Now they're older, and it's going to come up because that experience that we talked about that some of those ladies had when she got back out there in the game.
Yeah, but that's like your height. You can't do nothing about it.
Thank you.
Preach, brother, preach.
Derek, you took the words right out of my mouth.
This don't mean nothing to me.
You cannot change. You cannot change. So if you are unsatisfied with what God gave you, then that's your problem.
Guess what? I feel insecure because I'm black. Oh, wait, I can't change it. Never mind. I'm good with being black.
Thank you.
It don't make any sense. You put this up there, little man with 3 and 4. I'm a few percentages. Yeah, but if you know how to work your stuff, it don't matter. Because guess what? The G spot is 2 inches in anyway.
That leads us to here. There it is. And that's why I brought it up. Because it is that point that you guys that are going to now have to wrap your head around this do understand. This is why we said you need to get a skill. You need to understand your skill set. You need to know a woman because if you think just going by this, you can't change it. It's nothing that you can do. Now, what are you
getting
going
your
to do?
feelings hurt?
You're getting your feelings hurt for no reason. So when you talk to that woman, and again, I could go find the Reddit, but I'm not going to do it for the sake of time. A lot of you are going to still be dealing with this. And I know because I've talked to more than one man that goes through this. And it's not that he's saying anything about this stuff, but it is part of that confidence of what women say.
Oh my God, dude.
That's where
this right here, you might as well I got much love for you, Dad, but get rid of this off this screen. This ain't nothing you can change. I'd rather have the other stats up where you look like, really? This right here, this is meaningless. And this is what gets me hung up is when they fall into that low percentile and then the ego get caught up and it's about your confidence, like you said. You have to know yourself. You can come in there, you got big D energy, work it. You got two inches, work it, right? Work it.
What's it called? It's called self-esteem.
Let me pull you up on that. Go ahead with that.
Esteem of your doggone self. It's called self-esteem. You can't sit up there and let somebody else judge you. Only God can judge me. So good luck. You just gotta have confidence within yourself.
Man, we can sit here and go through some stories. I was with a chick, real talk. She was with a Jamaican. I could put my foot in there and still wouldn't feel nothing. And we was kicking it for a minute. Why? Because she was like, he didn't know nothing about foreplay and romance. I like a little foreplay. I ain't gonna say I'm the most romantic, but I'm gonna talk to you about who you are and get in your head. And we was kicking it for a minute, but I knew I couldn't physically please her, but she was getting pleased mentally And the mental is
There
what
it
That's
locks
the
is.
you
key
in.
there. That's
There it
the
is.
key. That is the 100% key.
Yeah, man.
If you can make love to their mind,
Bingo. You got it.
There it is.
it's
The
way better
body
than the
will
body.
follow. The body will
Exactly.
follow.
The mind leads,
There it
body
is.
follows. You conquer that mind first.
Foreplay.
Yes,
There
sir.
it, and that's the thing. Because overall, it's not what she's had, it's what she's anchored to.
Right.
And if
Not,
you can't anchor this, because
Mm-hmm.
there's always room, and this actually goes back to an Ashley Madison study, because people thought that, oh, everybody's on Ashley Madison just because they cheat, and they thought that men were on Ashley Madison to cheat in order to get a different sexual experience. What they found in this one particular study is that the men were there, but they were actually there for emotional fulfillment. You know why the women were there? Because they wanted the bigger D. And that was actually the title of one of the chapters, because for a little short-term mating, that's what a woman wanted to go out there and experience. But that's in a cheating situation. That doesn't mean what she was anchored to. Remember what I said? When she first gets out there in the game, or she's probably cheating before she exits her marriage, that is what she's looking for. So it's always going to be somebody bigger than you. Get over it. That's what
absolutely.
you got to
Thank
understand.
you.
The reason why I put the stats up there is because, first of all, most men, like you said, we don't have any idea. That's I was talking to somebody, one dude, and I was like, you got understand, we were talking about being circumcised and uncircumcised. And they
Right.
were like, well, I don't want my son or whatever to get teased. I was like,
You won't see it.
yeah, you don't see
Yeah.
another man's junk because nobody changes in
Yeah.
locker rooms and stuff anymore. So when do you see another man's junk unless you're in the nudist world? So
Mm-mm.
how would you know? And so
Right.
in that case, you may sit there and have this a block, because as we said, you can be out there again and your confidence may be a little rattly, and the woman's gonna say something and she's gonna say stuff to shake your confidence. As long as you got enough and you know what you're gonna use and you know how to use and work this on her, I'm gonna tell you, you'll get your
No,
feelings hurt if you found out that woman had a dom and his stuff was that big, but he made that woman do things that would be like, what? Because he had up here.
but let's put it
Yep.
in a different perspective. Where's that big D Johnson at now? In the past. So
Yes.
it wasn't enough to
Yep.
keep her.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you want to keep her, you got to do something different. You got to make sure that you're not trying to throw yours in there, because you may fall short, no pun intended. But the fact is, that's not your key indicator.
Yeah.
Your key indicator is, how do I touch on her heart and her mind and her soul? The physical
Yes,
piece
sir.
of that's last.
Yes.
Once you
Yes,
got
sir.
that, how many times you can walk up like Dan said, man, my pops had it good. He go out there and whisper in that woman's ear. He got her in the car, blah, 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 blah. Because he got game. That's what we're
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
about. He
Yes.
got
Yeah.
game. He can talk that game. He's in that mind.
Yes.
That's all you got right there. Don't
Exactly.
worry about that other stuff.
Eddie, I know you got to go. So if you do, man, feel free to jump off. We're going to hit a couple of more. So I just want to be respectful of your time, though.
Yeah, man. I got to go ahead and take care of some grandfatherly responsibilities right
All
now.
right, brother.
Hey, so hey, I enjoyed talking with you, brothers. Peace, and I'm gonna try to continue listening to you while I'm in the car.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right, man. Take it easy,
All right,
man.
man. Peace.
All right, fellas.
We'll hold it down for you.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And brothers, keep up your confidence.
Yes. It's called self-esteem, right?
It's called self-esteem.
That's right. That's right.
Got it. Got it. All
All
right.
right, brothers.
All right, peace,
All right,
man. All right. So I think now, as we get ready to kind of wind this down, Derek, I think we touched on something, because all the things now, you know, we already established Eddie's more the switch in the group. So we're going to say, with us being a little bit more on the dom side, now let's kind of get into what we can share in terms of some skills, some applications for the guys.
Right.
So let's think about this. We start again of the confidence. He's out there, no matter what he packing, no matter what he think. How do we get a guy to the point now where he can go out and feel confident in his interaction with women? And whether he's married, whether he's not married, he can now approach and not have the anxiety that he has.
But he's got to know who he is. They got to know what they're capable of. Again, don't approach somebody with money. Be yourself genuinely. There's somebody out there for everybody. But you have to be self-aware. That is so crucial. I cannot express that enough. But as Eddie had pointed out, sometimes you just need practice mates. You need somebody that you can throw and bounce some things off. And we talked before about even talking to some of your girlfriends. Could even be a sister. We ain't talking about nothing hanky panky and stuff. Just get the conversation where they can express some things to you, and you can talk and be open and feel genuine about certain things. And sometimes even on these dating apps, you can find friendships, female friends that can also give you that. And hey, they may even break you off a little bit. It is what it is, but you have to be willing to do the things that you haven't been willing to do, or be willing to go out there and step outside of your boundaries. You don't be afraid to explore some things. Don't be afraid to try. You know what I haven't tried? Is it gonna hurt you? Keep it safe, keep it respectful, be honest with yourself. We're not trying to, I will not suggest you go out there and just gank these women and shoot the shot just to be shooting and don't mean nothing bad. Be genuine about it. If you are, women respect honesty. They may not want to hear the truth, but they respect honesty over anything. You know, hey, I just got out of a relationship. It was for X amount of years. If they about the relationship and understand they know you on the rebound, they'll have a conversation with you. Well, you're not really ready for a relationship, but you seem like you're a good guy. We can hang out if you want to. That's a start.
Yes, yes.
You're not looking to jump in a marriage, right?
I agree, man. And I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off of that. Laying the foundation again, because Derek, you said this earlier, knowing what you want. What is it that you want to do? We said, again, we're going to be redundant because it's worth mentioning it. We said this in the past show. Don't take the same things that were the problems in your past marriage into either your next marriage or next relationship. Conversely, again, let me be the one to speak to the married guys. Start becoming the man that you would be if you were out here in quote unquote these streets. So I think we both would agree. First of all, as a married man, in all likelihood, most of you watching this, you beg. You beg. She already knows you gonna pout if you don't get it. She already knows that, you know, you're going to go ahead and watch the magic genie if she ain't giving you none. So she'll just be like, well, fine, let him go do that because I don't want to be with him anyway. That's why, remember, I showed the stats. That's why it falls off a cliff, because a woman, even by the time she get with in her 50s and she done hit menopause, she don't even care if you going to wank to the magic genie. She's just like, whatever, as long as he ain't bothering me anymore because I don't want to do it anyway. Now, in her 40s and the other way, she's a little bit more worried about the competition because she worried that if that dog constantly gets fed by somebody else, he might leave me. But by the time you hit your 50, she's like, man, he ain't going nowhere. And if he do, I got to have his stuff anyway. Ask me how I know. She ain't going to be worried. She ain't going to be worried about you leaving. And for most of you, let's keep it real. Would it really be a loss for her if you left? That's why 70% of women are the ones filing for divorce. Nothing to be mad about. But it now means that start leading her in much the same way as if you had to be out here again. And I'm going to say the first thing, stop begging, start leading. Start, instead of asking, instead of saying, you know, when I come home and I'm going to get off of work, you know, could you be wearing something nice and sexy for me? Because I really would like you see you in it. And she's like, oh boy, you know, she already knows as soon as you start giving her a back massage, what you want to try to do. Don't do that. Instead, why don't you just say, you know, I'm going to be home tonight. I'm working a little bit late after making this money. I'm going to be home at 8 o'clock. I want you to be ready for me. This is what I want you to wear. I want you to go ahead and wear those. Go ahead and get those panties that I bought for you, which means you have bought some for her to tell her what to wear. Get the message, get the clue. So, but even if you haven't gotten to that point, tell her what you want her in, when you want her in it. And yes, if you aren't accustomed to this, she's going to give you all the pushback. Well, you know, the kids are still up, or you know, the older, the kids may not still be up. Well, you know, I still got to do such and such. I want you to be ready when I get home, and I want you to be wearing such and such. And then go and just start there. And don't make it all about smashing. Just make it about touching her, being with her. And you might, like Derek says, that foreplay that gets started because she's tired of you rubbing her on her shoulder. And she's like, he's touching me. I know what he wants.
That routine.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, who was that was saying that? I think it was Earthquake when he was talking about, yeah, you know, it was was one of these comedians. I can't remember. Oh, maybe it was Martin Lawrence. When you about to, they already know before you even do it. Oh, you about to put this move on. Yeah, it's yours. Wait, I ain't even done it yet. Wait, what? Oh, you do the same old thing. You know, get out of the routine. Now, one of the things that Dev hit on, yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I'm a very direct guy. Now, if it's your wife, you got to start having the conversation as well. If you want your marriage to work, y'all got married for a reason. She wants you to leave, but you got to say this, baby girl, do you want me here? Because if you want me here, we got to change up a few things. And I'm going to lead it. But I need you to follow. If you want us to be different, you have to be willing to do some things different. I may fall into my same old routine about rubbing your shoulder, but then there's going to be some nights that I'm going to say, hey, you remember that package I brought you the other day? I want that on. I'll be home at 8. That's boom, right. Leave it. And then when you come home, and you got to act differently. Yes. 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock. You can have a rose. Don't go crazy. Just do something simple. Because she already know you. You do something simple. You ain't trying to go blow your wad and the life savings, right? Just be something simple, but be romantic and different. And you putting her feelings first, then guess what? She gonna put yours first. Because if you're looking out for her and she looking out for you, y'all good. But if you're looking out for her and she looking out for her, you out. You gotta ask those questions. Do you want me here? Because I want you here. Start with that, like Dev said. If you're gonna be married, be married. If you're gonna be single, be single, but be the man in your home, because women married you because they want you to lead. Yeah. Now, if you now again, Bev and I, we cut from the same cloth in so many different ways. It's not even funny. But the women I come across want me to take charge. Period. When I say, listen, this is what we're gonna do. I didn't ask you that, didn't I? I told you what, I know your body. I've been with you for 10, 15 years. I know you like this. Her and I used to have a conversation every night. You weren't even there. You were asleep, but her and I, we had a good conversation. Split the mind and body up. Sometimes you got to lead by the body when you're married, because you married her mind already. So you already got that locked. You've missed the body now. Now you got to attend to both of them and get them back married again. So you already got the mind. You come in there and says, listen, I'm talking to the body right now. You go ahead and take a little time out. Her and I got to get reacquainted. You already know her well enough to know what her spots are. Gradually get into it. Don't be like the Jamaican and just go and raw dog and just don't put that romance in it.
Man,
you better find it.
Let's go back to the Jamaican only do for a hot second, because I think that still definitely touches on it, that you, again, she was with you for a reason. So it wasn't about where she was. And if you're a married guy, again, don't matter where your wife has been, and you may even still have those hangups. She's with you now for a reason. So just as I said earlier, that power that the woman has, where a man's eyes naturally has wife goggles, he sees the woman that he got when they got married, not the woman that she may be now. Well, a certain degree, she's the same way with you. Think about it, man. Your wife might get divorced from you at 50. Do you think she want to be out here in the game? She knows she dealing with 18-year-olds with OnlyFans that's bringing it and that's hotter than maybe she ever was, or she just knows she's not that woman again. She already knows she's going to get used and abused. A woman has to go through some mental gymnastics to even accept that. She's like, it was a good experience, but yeah, I know I got used. She doesn't necessarily want that, and that's the advantage you have, married guy. That's the advantage you have with her. So cut all that confidence stuff out and go in there and lead. Go ahead.
Well, here's another one. In your marriage, why can't you be that other guy?
There it is. Oh,
you
man.
You got to change the game in your marriage. Because those saying is, what's insanity? Doing the same old thing and thinking you're going to get something different. Change it up.
Yes.
Change it up. Make a new marriage out of it. Have date night. Be another person. Dress up differently. You got the same old plaid shirt. Make a solid. Put some shiny shoes on.
Yes.
Do something different. And then the first thing she gonna say to you, who you messing with?
Yes.
And you say, I'm messing with you.
Yes.
You up for this or what? Be honest about it. Like, look, I need to change up who we do and what we do. And I'm gonna lead it off. I'm gonna lead this charge and say, today my name Rollo. What name you want to be? Samantha? Let's do it.
Man, it's funny you
Do it.
say that. I did something back when I was married and I started going through my change.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I did, it was something simple. I think we were meeting another couple at a restaurant and I made the reservations. And when I made the reservations, I made them for a different name. And so we all walk in, and I'm like, I don't know, I got reservations for such and such. And I remember she looked at me like, who is that? I was like, that's me. And just that little thing was me breaking my own habit, my own
Right.
routine, adding a little bit of mystery and intrigue of doing something different than what she
Where
thought
is
I would
this
do.
going with this?
And then it was starting with those little micro things.
Mm-hmm.
When I had to be single again, the greatest part, I didn't have to change jack squat because I had already changed from that man that I was. I'm like, I'm just transitioning. So I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to have that switch where it's like, who am I now? Because I had already started becoming that guy. Now,
Right.
shout out to those old red pill folks, because this is one thing that I agree with that they definitely said that I think was true. You start being that guy and you give your wife the point of first refusal. So if she still don't want you after you've changed yourself for the better, imagine now when you hit the market how valuable you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So start that work now, and you can start with those little things.
And to your point, we talked about go back, swing over to the single people. Being married is an aphrodisiac to women
Mm,
because at least they know that you can be loyal and you've been committed and to some degree. If you never, I got a philosophy. If you're 40 and above and you've never been married and you don't
mm,
have kids, I can't deal with you
mm.
because you're too selfish. You don't know what it is to share and have somebody actually in your life. Women think the same thing, and they got their own categories too. They may not be able to put it into some kind of language per se, but they've been in the back of their mind. They have something too, but that means something. The old saying is nobody wants somebody that nobody else had or
Mm,
wants.
mhm.
It's easy to find a job when you got one, whatever. It's easy to cheat because you got one. I don't know what it is about somebody, you already being spoken for makes you that much more attractive in all kinds of different situations. Don't know why it is that way, but
You're
when
right.
you're single and you're getting out of a relationship, that actually does work for you if you know how to handle it.
Yes, yes. All right, let me ask you another one, and then let's get ready
Sure.
to close this out. So a man is now beginning to transition, and let's talk to those guys on how they can be more dominant. Let's talk to
Okay.
those guys on how now we already mentioned, okay, they go in, they say, I want you to wear such and such and such. I had a guy just tell me this a couple of weeks ago. He's been married a mighty long time, mighty long
Okay.
time. He was looking at me like, well, who are you to tell me? But he was like, well, but you can't try that on her because they've been married decades, longer than I've been alive. They've been married.
Oh,
And he was
okay.
like, well, she ain't gonna do such and such. My response to him was, well, number one, she won't do it because you didn't start it out that way, and you already didn't lead her in that direction. So I'm going to throw it out to you, and I'll get more into what I said. How do you get a man that has been married for a while, and he
Mm-hmm.
says, I'm not going to dump her, I'm not going to leave her. So how do I become more dominant to get her to do what I want to do? And I'm putting it that way on purpose.
Okay, so if this is what he really wants to do is be more dominant, it's a matter of okay, take charge. What are you not dominant in? What is it? Okay, listen, maybe it's sex, maybe it is. Okay, maybe it's not. You have, like you said before, start off small, dominating those things, and the rest gonna follow. For example, if she's accustomed to doing something by herself, tell her you going with her the next go round for one
Mm,
and you lead her situation. Oh, I'm going in to go get my hair done. I don't know if that's a good scenario. Let's try something different. I'm going shopping. I'm going with you. Why? You ain't. I'm going with you. Just go. And you start saying, push the cart. Let's get this. Let's get this, and this. Because you already know what you want in the food. If it's food, going grocery shopping. But you have to start taking charge of these things in her life so that she knows that you are in charge of her life and the situation
ooh,
and you lead it, right? You have to do something different where you're taking charge and she can see it. She can't see nothing if you oh, I took charge of my own meeting today. Well, what that got to do with her? You have to show her your leadership. That's what we're looking at. Lead your wife to where you want her to be. You can't keep talking about where I'm over here. What did you go get her? Go get her, grab her hand, and walk her down to where you want her to be. She gonna resist because she's not used to the new you.
Ooh, there it
So
is.
be something new. Got to put something different out there. But
Love
you
it.
have to be willing to change.
Love it. And now I'm going to add to that because I think that's a great starting point. If there's one practical thing that I want y'all to get out of this video, I want you to create your alter ego. I want you to have another guy, just as I became that other guy that made that restaurant reservation for everybody. I want you to become another guy. And maybe it'd be easier because we talked in the beginning. A lot of times with sex, we got shame attached to it, etc. I want you to create a guy that's not ashamed. Whether you're single, whether you're married, create a guy that's
Oh,
not ashamed. And
be that internet guy.
yes, maybe because you're gonna probably if you're gonna make a profile, you're probably gonna use a fake name anyway. So
Right.
I want you to become that guy. And whenever you now have to deal with whether it's your wife, whether it's the new woman that you're thinking about dating, and you're trying to wonder how you can become this guy, I want you to think like he does, not the way your old self always thought. So let's say me, I'm going to be a guy named Jim. If I'm going to turn myself into Jim, then when I go into Jim mode, Jim doesn't beg for anything. Jim squelches down all of his old nice guy things that he learned from the good old church and stuff like that. Happy wife, happy life, his default things. When I become Jim, first of all, Jim says, do this weekend or do this the next time you and your wife get ready to go on a vacation. You book the trip, you get the airline tickets, you get the rental car, and you tell her this is where we're going to go. She doesn't have to do it all. Because I can already tell you, I don't talk to enough women. They hate, like, well, my husband didn't plan anything and he's just going along for the trip. And you become another child. Jim is nobody's child. Jim may be the so-called playboy. Because believe me, when she fantasizing, like we talked about last show, when she's fantasizing about a man that not only takes charge in the bedroom, but he's leading her in almost every aspect of her life. Not that she can't be independent, but she can always know I can watch where Jim is going. Jim got me. And that's kind of the advice I gave to we'll just say the OG. It is that case. Men will nullify leadership. They'll try to tell a woman what she better be doing. But yet, as soon as you ask him to do something, he's like, I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, what did you do? Such? I don't know. What do you want to do? Well, I got to ask my wife and see what she wants to do. I thought you were the leader. Every woman, she's not a child. She's not a robot. Okay, this ain't Eddie Murphy coming to America. Whatever you say, although it can be if you really run your game right there. But certainly, it's going to be that case where she is going to push back. Expect that, but she's only pushing back because she don't trust you yet, like you said earlier.
Oh,
Sorry.
bingo.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. She don't trust you, and she's she's been with you for let's say 10 plus years. You've been acting that way for 10 plus years. You can't just write off. This is what you better do. No, you got to say, you know what? And you tell her, my name is now Jim. All right. I'm going to do something different. Jim got you. Jim going to do this and this and this and this. Jim got you. What the heck you mean, Jim? What you want to do? No, we going to do this. We going to do this. You know what she like. You know what she like to eat. You know what kind of movie she like. Take her out. Make a date night. No. Well, you know I got to go see my girlfriends. Not today. Not today. We got something going on. I need you. Jim called and we doing something and we going to do this and this is where we going to meet. Okay? Jim leading this. You good? Play that alter ego. Woo-wee. Yeah. Fantasy world.
I was going to say, you just telling her to call you Jim. She's going to be like, where did you come from? But
my name's Jim.
And this is the thing, fellas. Logically, it don't make sense to us, but that's a woman's world. They don't live in a world where things make sense. That's why they want the dude that can blow away a bunch of bodies and then come back and kiss a baby. To them, that makes sense. That's why they love the romance novels, the vampire. Again, The Bachelor. The Bachelor is a show about a man dating multiple women, and it's watched by a bunch of women that hate men who date multiple women. but in their
Make
mind,
that
it
make
makes
sense.
sense, right? It doesn't logically to us, but it does to them. So I love that, man. Yeah, you tell her this is Jim, and it may sound corny, and it's gonna be
Oh,
uncomfortable
it's
for
gonna
you
sound
initially,
corny, but
right?
she gonna eat it up real quick.
Exactly,
Real quick.
exactly. Let me share this real fast because me and my girl watching. We were going back watching some old American Horror Story. If any of you who remember the series, it goes back to the very first series. That to me, the first season was one of the best. And in that, the woman she's mad at her husband because he cheated, and of course he's doing what I got to do to get back with you, right? And so she's in the house, and they ended up finding this what like rubber BDSM outfit, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the guy is completely covered with the black hood, everything from head to toe, and she's still mad at her husband, didn't kind of want to sleep with him anymore, etc. But all of a sudden, she looks over, she's like half asleep, and she looks over, and there he is standing above her in this outfit. But it really ain't her. It's this ghost dude that's, actually chopping people up. But, but she's like, it was a perfect example of what we're talking about. She didn't be like, you look like a fool wearing that. Get out of here. Instead,
Right.
the dude got her pregnant. And you get this scene where she was like, oh, she's all into it. And then she was just like, and then when he got done, man, she was like cuddled up in the fetal position, was like, that was amazing. And she thought it was her husband. She thought that he was
Wow.
now
Role
finally
playing.
like role playing. I'm not going to be apologetic, kiss your feet because I cheated anymore. I'm going for what I want. And she ate it up and turned out it was the ghost demon dude. But that's what Jim does. Jim's like, I'm
Right.
putting this suit on. I'm going for it. So
Yeah.
become Jim. Become Jim. Any party
And
shots,
guess
man.
what?
Go ahead.
And what Jim does is he may even dress different.
Ooh.
He may instead of he may do some stuff that's different. You know, hey, change your clothes up. Wear something you don't think. And here's the thing: you have plenty of samples to go by. There's always that guy at work that's like, damn, you be in the cup like, dang, how he
Yes.
talking to that chick, that chick, and they know. Be Jim.
Yes. Yes.
Jim's got the confidence.
Yes.
So once you have that confidence, that self-esteem, as Eddie would say, right? Once you have it, man, you just doors open up. People
Yes.
see who you are. My name's Jim. Hey, and start telling people your middle name is Jim. So when they call you Jim, that's what it is.
Yes.
Play
Yes.
it up.
I
Play
love
it
it,
up.
man. I love it. Guys, you're getting some actionable stuff. Don't sleep on it. I'm going to say, if you've done this before, let us know down in the comment section below. What worked for you in changing your persona? Did you change it when you got back out here in the game? I think that was the best thing I liked about starting over because I could say, certainly when you were married, she still also, just like you see her visually as kind of being, oh, that's that woman I was married to. She looked a certain way. A new dude be like, nah, I don't necessarily see her as being that hot. Well, in the same way, though, she's looking at you. Another woman is like, dang, you got it going on. She looking at you
Mm-hmm.
like, you a punk when I met you at 25. You're a punk now, so she's not going to possibly accept that side. So that ego split, how did you handle that? Let us know in the comment section below.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know some areas that you may have struggled with all of this. Because man, I think I think we can close it down on that because I think
Okay.
just giving guys an actionable, become a new man, and then you become a new man sexually in the bedroom as well. So that way, I'll put it like this and hand it back over to you one more time. It's amazing men already do this when they play sports, for example. Because dudes be like, man, why you buying Jordans? Because in his mind, he's like, man, when I put on Jordans, I'm going back
Right.
to when I was 20. Why dudes still wearing probably the same number basketball jersey that they wore when they were 17 years old and they now 56 playing knowing they got a bad knee. But he's still
Mm-hmm.
wearing number 23 because he wants to go in and be that guy. What about the guys that go into the gym? These are cats. I know y'all. I see you all the time. You become a different guy in the gym. So you'll go start working out. And even though you don't have the biggest arms, maybe you got chicken legs like me, but when you go in that gym, you become another person. Take that with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Have that same persona. You already do it in certain areas of your life. Stop being worried about being corny and fulfill that woman's fantasies. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good point. If you, hey, get a pad and paper, write it down. Jim does this. He does this. He does this. He does this. He goes
Mm.
here. He does this. That's going to get you in your mental set by going back over that list. Put it in your phone. Put a little note section in your phone. So like, you know what? Jim called her at 8 o'clock and said, "Be ready by 9 o'clock because he's picking her up.
Mm-hmm.
He got this already made. He made some reservations. We just gonna go take a ride. We're gonna let the top down. We're gonna go down, and we're gonna let the sun hit. We just gonna chill out and hold hands
Oh,
and just get to know each other all over again.
you gonna hold her
And
hand?
oh man, shoot, might as well. And guess what? You know what's the old saying? Hey, let's go to a bar and let me pick you up as Jim, and let's play that. Do something different. Spice it up. And guess what? You might just get lucky. You might be that. You might get that 2 points for the month in one night.
Oh man, let me throw this in. I know we keep saying we're gonna stop, but now we just brought another one in because it goes back to what we said earlier. When you said the bar thing, I thought about ask that woman her fantasies, and don't be scared when you
Go
hear what they
back.
are.
Yep.
Conversely, tell her yours because see, while you going to the magic genie doing your thing, you might not know she hit that same site up. She
Right.
might have been looking at the same videos.
And here's a reality to your point. That works whether you married or single.
Yep. Yep. And when you start leading with that, and think about how, again, married guys, religious guys, especially for you religious guys, isn't that where all of your fantasies are supposed to be fulfilled anyway? Is inside your marriage? So why
Yep.
are you hiding? Yeah, the Lord know what you're thinking. So why are you hiding? Tell your wife, baby, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. And of course,
what
you
what
gotta have
outfits do
consent.
you like, baby?
There it is.
Bring her in.
Yes.
Well, you know
Yes.
what? If that was purple, maybe. Okay. It only costs $50. It's be here in 2 days. I got Amazon Prime. Make it
Yes.
one.
Yes. Where are all the places that you wanted to get it in at that maybe we did it when we were 30, but we haven't gone
Oh,
back since we had kids?
go
Where
for a ride. Here we go. And finger your wife while you're driving.
man, oh, see now you going yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
You think that'd be
You
a
caught it
surprise
one way,
for her?
right? Huh?
Oh, here's one. Why don't you start thinking like the dude that you worried about her cheating with? Because I bet you he would do that.
Oh,
Because we know the dude with the dude that's smashing married women.
he doing it. He doing it. Girl, I want you to wear them sexies. Yeah, you know the ones we talked about. Yeah, wear them. I want to wear a dress too. Don't be playing with them jeans. Them tight. Wear a dress. Wear a sundress. You know what we like. Yeah,
Man, let me tell
drive
you.
and do some things. That
I
work in
might,
the wintertime too.
yes, I might have told this story before, but if not, I'll repeat it. Or maybe I probably said it offline. I once read there was a woman in a group, and this woman was telling about the affair that she was having on her husband. And she got with a dom. Y'all don't want y'all woman who had been with a dom. Let me tell.
No,
So she got
sir.
she got with a dom, and the dom told her, "Now you want to talk about somebody that had confidence? It wasn't about this. He had the confidence to say, "This is what I want you to do with your husband. I want you to turn the cameras on in your bedroom so I could watch, and then I want you to do this, to do this, and to do this." And she
And I
did it.
want you to call my name out when you're doing it.
He didn't say she didn't add that part. She would
Oh.
have, but when we talk about anchoring, but that's the type of stuff that the other guy does. So when
Mm-hmm.
you busy and you find out she been creeping and you just asking the basic questions about, well, did he make you come? Was he bigger than me? You asking those intimidating questions, man, you better be wondering how he got in her head, and you better start doing the same
You
thing.
you know what? This is what kills me. Don't ask her if she came. Ask her how many times she came.
Oh,
That's the question. And here we go. Set up the cameras and say, I want you to do this and this and this, and call out Jim's name. Call my name out. My name, Jim. Have her call your name out, your pseudo name, and see how she live. You
yes.
talking about, what the other guy would do. Be that other guy, like you said. Call him, no, call my other name out. I want to talk to Jim. All right, bet.
That's it. I love it. So let's give him two. Derek said to write down all the things that Jim does. I'm telling you also to now also on another add to it or put another put a column down, start a new column on the other side, and I want you to write down all the things you worried about if you found out your woman had a guy in her phone that she creeping with. Think about all the things that you would be ruminating. Did she do? Did she do? Did she do?
Mm-hmm.
And then ask yourself, how come you're not doing those things? And then start doing them. Start doing them.
Yep. And think, oh my goodness, man, we need to cut the show. I'm getting another conversation going.
Go ahead.
Man, it's a matter of, why do you think somebody can get your woman's attention? How did they get your woman's attention?
Well,
you can't get it.
Let me play the red pill argument because of hypergamy and because they always looking for a better man, and that's how women are, and they always want to go with somebody bigger, and they always looking for more money and status, and that's how none of them can be faithful anyway.
Then it's a lost cause. if that's how you think and you don't have any recourse, I'll call it quits. Because in your mind, you have to know that there's a way to make it better. If you don't think there's a way to make it better, you're already defeated. Period. So you have to change your mindset so your actions will follow. There's no other way to put that. You have to change if you want change. Like you said, make these 2-3 columns out, figure it out, but be something different. But be something different that you can truly be. Because you can't live a false life for the sake of your marriage. She gonna fall in love with Jim and forget about Sam.
Right.
You know? Be something new that you can live with.
So it goes aboard.
I know I changed my life. You changed yours.
And
I like it.
And that goes back to where we started. What do you want? And so you were right. I think, Eddie ain't here, but he didn't mind it when we said about a switch, only because he said, look, I like it when a woman may take charge here, but he knows that's what he digs. So he can tell a woman, girl, I want you to do this. I want you to do such. I'm cool with laying back. One of the things I had to learn, I was like, I really don't have a problem being dominant. I don't like to wear that label because too many dudes are all about floggers and everything else. Yeah. I'm cool with that. Don't get me wrong. But my point is, I know there are a lot of, there are a lot of dudes that are, I'm going to just use the term, they kind of fake with it because they wear it. It's like a dude that walks around talking about he can fight. Okay. It's like, you ain't got to sit there and brag about what you can do if you can actually do it. If that's your personality, man, when I embraced that side of what I like to do and basically saying, I know what I want and I don't have any problem going after it. Man, it was like everything opened up because now I didn't have fear of anybody or anything else. So go ahead.
We even talk about the simps, the betas. We talk about alphas. I mean, I don't consider myself an alpha nor a beta. I consider myself a sigma. This is regardless of the fact that I'm a Phi Beta Sigma man. Go mob. But a Sigma man is somebody that, you know what, I can take it or leave it. But I know how to take charge, and I can take charge, and I will take charge. But I don't have to. I'm comfortable with me. Yes. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to respect me. I respect myself. And guess what? At the end of the day, I'm the one making the choices. And when it comes to relationships, there's no competition. If I choose you, I choose you. It doesn't have anything to do with your money. If the other chick got more money, but you've given me the peace, I'm going to choose peace over money every day. Every day. So it's a matter of, I don't want to be in competition. There ain't no competition. If I'm making the choice, don't get me wrong, it's a two-sided choice. You've already chosen me or you wouldn't be here.
Yes.
Now it's up to me whether or not I want to choose you for the long haul or for the short haul. You decide. But it's a choice. It's a matter of you have to have the confidence to be able to lead and to walk away.
Yep.
So
love it. All right, man. With that, we can close. I'm going to say, please like and subscribe. Share this video maybe with some guys that you know can use it. I'm going to say, ladies, for the 1 or 2 of you that might have stuck around or that you see some of the segments I'm going to put up, I think you might want to share this maybe with some ladies or maybe with some guys like Derek talked about. You may be friends with a dude and he's asking you these types of questions. Be like, hey, watch what these dudes said. That's it.
And what they talk about is what I like.
There it is. Exactly. Feel free. Let us know down in the comments below on how you've improved your confidence, some of the things that you've done. Maybe you split yourself up. I think in the end, we can certainly say, write some things down. Yes, this thing still does work, people. It still does work. And sometimes it's that mind-hand connection that you make that solidifies it now in your brain. And just start out with just that one thing from this show and let us know how it works for you. Let us know how you leading little things with your wife or your girlfriend or even a chick you dating. Let us know how that works. Because a lot of you guys, and I know you probably heard the same thing, a lot of these women get ready to go out with a man and they're like, where you want to go? And she's like, well, you can choose a spot. Well, where would you like to go? Well, but I don't know. Well, what about such? What time do you want to go? And the chick's like, well, you just tell me where to be. Because
I've fallen into that before. I'm not even gonna lie. I've fallen into that before because I'm not a foodie. I don't care. I just want something that when I'm not hungry. I don't care where we go because I'm sure every place got a burger.
Hey, well,
I'm not
go ahead. Everybody know that's me. I ain't one that's gonna go to the place of fine cuisine. I'll be like, well, I'm gonna choose a place of some good old American food. So
America. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Any closing comments, man? We can close it out.
No, I mean, just a matter of be real. We always say it at the end. Always be real to yourself. Be honest. Know what you want, but know what you desire and your fantasies when you asking these ladies. Because a lady is quick to say, "What about you? What about you?" When you ask that question, they're gonna turn it back around. Be ready to answer that question just the same, but do it in a respectful way, man. I just like to just tear it up. No, just walk it in.
Yes.
Play it smooth.
All right, thank you, man. You're not 15. You're 50. No. So when she asks you that question, don't go back to your shame closet. Don't go back to how you always, I don't want to tell a woman about that because she go think I'm dirty and nasty. Be your dirty, nasty self.
Because they're like, ooh, I got one of them.
Man, with the number of, we'll just keep it clean, with the number of erogenous zones a woman has, fool, do you know that she is far more nastier than you are?
And guess what? She don't even know what half of them are because she was married to some busted that didn't know what the heck to do with it. Look,
say that one more time, please.
Here's a secret. If she's ticklish, start with that as her erogenous zone. How's that?
For real. For real.
Just make it real simple.
Just make it real simple.
What? Yes, sir.
Be a
Surprise.
Different man. Yeah, be a different man. Be a different man. Comment below what your new name is, fellas. Comment below.
Right. What's your alter ego?
What's your alter ego? It's all right, y'all. Again, like and subscribe. Until next time, we look forward to meeting with you and chopping it up, and just let us know if there are some topics you want us to cover. So we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
All right. Peace.